So turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
What's going on, people? My apologies for not rocking my white turtleneck tonight, but we're here to discuss episode 7 of Severance, Defiant Jazz. I feel like all jazz is defiant, but whatever. But D, how's it going?
Good. Jazz as a whole is defiant, right? As a whole genre.
Yeah, there's no such thing as obedient jazz. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right. Pretty excited to talk about this episode because I feel like we are getting in the thick of things and stuff is starting to happen. Things are starting to be revealed, and there's a lot to talk about. So yeah, as we always do, general impressions. What do you think about this episode?
First and foremost, I'm very disappointed that you did not wear your white turtleneck. We talked about this, right?
I know, I
Supposed to
know.
have it on. It's supposed to have. It's supposed to be setting the vibe, setting the tone. Where is my MDE?
I
Anyway,
spilled melon juice on it. My apologies.
you had a melon bar. You didn't invite me to the melon bar. Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
It was a one
General
person melon bar.
impressions.
Sorry.
Okay, general impressions. My mind was blown, of course. I felt like this was a good episode because there was there was a lot of things going on. We got a lot of questions answered and still have some, of course. But the pace was amazing. The content was amazing. 5 stars.
Yeah, I agree. This is like when you watch a show that has like I won't even say like a slow pace, but like a very deliberate pace. You're going to want a payoff every now and then, and that's what we got with this episode. This episode was pretty like it was filled with details, and the pace itself was kind of different. It was like a bit faster than the normal like slow pace, but yeah, fantastic episode, and we'll get right into it. We pick up right where we left off in episode 6. Mark meets Rengabi, and she shows him the lab. She tells him, I put that chip in your head. I'm going to get it out. We're going to finish what Petey started. And D, who shows up at that point.
Rainer. Okay, so listen. For a second, I was confused because I thought he was a part of it, but then I realized that they were in between like a split wall, so he couldn't see her. And once I figured that out, I was like, "Oh no!" But very quickly, we see that he was not a
Mm.
part of of the operation at all.
Yeah, man, he's not a part of any operation now because
What happened to him?
Regabi split his head open.
As the folks say to the white meat, because it was so okay. So there wasn't a point in my mind that I did not think that she was going to kill him. Like I didn't see another way out.
Mm.
And the violent nature of it was a bit unsettling, but yeah, I think the violent nature won, and the way she did it without thought. Right, there was no hesitation. It was just like, oh,
Mm.
I have to kill this motherfucker. Like it was no, that was it. He has to die, and he did. And and it was crazy because she was like, "Get his arms." I was like, "For what? He dead." But I didn't realize she was saying like, "Move his body." I thought she was like,
Yeah,
let's handle like, nah, he dead. But no, okay, yeah, you still got to get the body out of the way. It can't just be down here. Start to smell.
yeah. So yeah, the key thing here is that since Grainer is like head of security, he has a very important coveted possession on him, which is the all access key card. And we know from the previous episode, they've just installed a door in front of macrodata refinement. So basically you have to have like that all access key card to get in and get out. So very convenient timing. So Mugabe gives the key card to Mark and she says, give it to him. He'll know what to do with it. And then Mark is like, who is like, oh, I him on the inside. So yeah,
I'm him.
very
I'm
interesting
sorry.
development. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the crazy thing about the rooms though. My thought process was that they were adding security to keep people out of other departments, right? So if you've ever been to an office building of any sort that you have access to, there's still limited access. There are doors that are, authorized access only. There are just security all over. You have access to whatever your badge allows. That's what I thought. Never in my mind did I think that they were going to lock them inside of the room because that is insane. I thought it was just, hey, we told you to stay out of the hallway. You didn't. So, what we're going to do is keep you here. You can walk around the hallway all you want, but you can't get to this area, which is, O and D. You can only stay within the refines of that refinement. I didn't realize they were going to be like seriously locked in. That is one, a fire hazard, and two, extremely dangerous, unethical, unlawful. I'm sure it's just a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and the deeper we go into this, it shows you that they are like you can't even call them employees because employees can at least like control when they come and go. Like for instance, like tomorrow I could be like, you know what? I feel like I'm gonna go in at 7, leave at 4. Like boom. Like, but no, like every part of their life is controlled. And in addition to that, like their outside life is controlled. So yeah, like they're really prisoners in this workplace. And
That word. I was going to say, what have we been saying this whole time? It's like prison. And now it's like solitary confinement.
mhm,
They're like on lockdown. This is insane. This is insane. But the craziest part is, I won't say the craziest part. The most cool part is Regabi was right. Mark knew exactly what to do.
mhm,
Like he knew there was no hesitation on his part either. He was a bit confused, of course, because I think I would have been too. But everybody was excited. And the best part about this crew, they're not afraid to kind of be disobedient now.
mhm,
It's like this is they're full out revolting and they will do whatever they want to do or whatever they need to do to figure out where they're going. So I thought there would be a little bit of convincing needed maybe, but the situation that happened with Dylan was perfect for them
mhm.
because now he's like, oh, okay, yeah, we got a problem. Why did they think that was a good idea? I understand he told his child to count to 1,000, but outside of it being cruel, because I know it's cruel, he should have definitely either restrained the child or locked him away somewhere so that
Yeah.
he could not come in there.
Yeah, I guess in a weird way he was like, "Oh, that maybe that would be taking it too far." But yeah, like the fact that this man like snapped back to I guess reality, saw his son, but also like basically his in and out he saw the kid. So there's no part of him that doesn't know now. And like Milicic meets him like as soon as he comes in, like, "Oh yeah, let's keep this to ourselves."
Me and you, it's our little secret. And I I knew it would be a problem, but the gravity of the situation didn't hit me until Dylan said it. Like, how am I supposed to do this now with this information?
Mm,
Because that's the only way it's gonna work if you're in any like the only way in any works is if this is your life. Like you can't know anything outside because it makes you long for whatever it is that's out there.
mhm.
And especially a child, like,
Right.
go, like you don't, and then he's like, oh, I think it's best you don't know his name. Like, what do you mean? Milchick made some very bad decisions. I'll say
Yeah.
that.
And I want to get to that much later, but before we get to that, like the MDE, like um I really love the I really love the tone of this show because it's very it gets like very creepy, but at the same time, like it's like the silly stuff makes it creepy because the MDE party was actually like, oh, this is like weird as hell. This is creepy. The flashing lights, Milicic, like, and shout out to I can't remember his name. I have to remember, but shout out to the actor who plays Milicic because like he was kind of wrong in that.
He was really getting down, like really, really, really getting down, showing us that he could be on Dancing with the Stars. That party definitely gave me Ex Machina vibes.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
first thing I thought of, because dance party that they had
Uh-huh.
also. But I mean, it's really amazing to me how Milchick does seem to have a personality. Kind of.
Mhm.
I don't know, and maybe he's a psychopath, right? Because or is it a psychopath or a sociopath? But one of them can fake. One of them like has. I think the whole thing is they have no emotions or they don't relate to emotions, but one of them knows how to fake it. So whichever one that is, that might be Milchick.
Yeah, he has a he's very much devoted to the mission of Lumen, whatever that mission might be. And I said I would save this for later. But let's go ahead and get into now. So Milicic like defies harmony a lot. Like I wouldn't even call that defiance. Like he just like basically undermines her authority and does his own thing. I'm starting to wonder if because I think I'm starting
Still
to
a theory
wonder
coming
if
on.
it's not even a theory. It's just like me starting to think is Harmony really the bad person? Because think about it, she's at odds with the board. She keeps saying reintegration, 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 and like her actions in this episode kind of like mirror someone who kind of wants to find out the truth about something.
Her actions from all time, if you
Yeah,
really think about it, show
yeah,
it. Now it's more like you said, it's illuminated more now. Because we see so much like she's so desperate to prove that reintegration is a thing. And it's almost like is she trying to prove it because she's trying to get a higher standing with the board and show them that she's valuable? Or again, is she trying to get somebody out? Because now that we go back and I know we'll get back into this, but now that we go back to the scene with Casey and Mark, she seemed very pleased with what he did with that clay. Like it didn't
uh,
seem like it was a situation where she was panicked and was like, oh my God, she's remembering. She seemed like almost there was almost joy in her, as much joy as she can give you when she saw him do that. It was almost like I guess either she was happy because she had a eureka moment, like, yes, I was right, or yes, this is what we need. I don't know. Can't tell with her.
also remind me to mention something about Casey once we reach that point because
Okay.
I always had a thought, but like it's been confirmed now.
It's
So
two things we gotta remember. We gotta mention Casey. We're gonna do it now so I won't forget. All right quick, Casey. Um, I mentioned to you a show called Dollhouse, and I'm not sure if anybody else saw it, but it was a Joss Whedon show. I know. But the premise of the show was that there were people who were considered dolls, and you can take like a disc or a program and put it into a system, and they became the person. Right. So
mm,
if you when you die running, if you don't want to go almost like did you ever watch Vanilla Sky?
I've never
I'm gonna
watched.
cuss
No,
you out
I'm
again.
sorry.
I'm
I'm
gonna
sorry.
cuss you out again. Almost like Vanilla Sky, but pretty much what it is, it's like John. I keep wanting to call you Jonathan. Running. If you when you die, instead of you saying, oh, "Okay, I'm just gonna go," you put your body in cryo. So it's right before you actually die. Body goes in cryotherapy, and they take your conscience and put it somewhere. So this is reminding me of that. It's like, are they using these bodies as hosts or trying to see if they can actually sever this person's memory or whatever else? Because think about it, the chip might be one of the, they're like, okay, if we can do this with a chip, what if we can make this chip somebody's conscience and just put it in this person? So though you died, your body dies, you just come back as somebody else, kind of like Mr. Manhattan
Yeah,
on
Doctor
Watchmen.
Manhattan. But yeah,
Dr. Manhattan.
but after you mentioned Dollhouse yesterday, I like Googled it. I was like, okay, I remember the show. Also, something interesting. You know who else is in Dollhouse?
Bria, that was her name on the show. That's how
Yep.
I know her, Casey. Well, she's Casey on here. She was Priya on Dollhouse. And I didn't even put it together because whenever I see her, I immediately say, oh, that's Priya, because that's the first time I saw her. But yeah, very interesting. Very, very interesting.
So yeah, along that same line of thought, like let me go ahead and get my Miss Casey thought out the way because they they made a point to make her like very robotic. But when we see her walking down the hallway, I strongly believe that's unsevered. Um, Miss Casey, who we now know as Gemma.
You do.
Like go back and watch that scene.
I agree with you. She seemed concerned when she was in the hallway, more so than she ever had been before. I
Because when
do
Mark
agree with you on
tells
that.
her, I'm sorry, like watch her reaction.
Hmm. Okay. So you think she's a conscious person. She is severed, but she just lives at Lumen, like all
Yeah,
the time. She's always there.
remember how we say some people who don't leave Lumen?
Yeah, Petey said that, right?
Yeah.
Petey might know. Oh, Petey probably knows, right?
Edie
Petey,
has to know.
Petey knows.
Like, I feel like that's why he went to Mark specifically.
He also, because remember, he said, if you want to know, if you don't want to know, I won't tell you.
Mm.
And I don't think he got a chance to really get into it, but Petey probably knows because if Ragabi knows, then I'm sure Petey knows.
Yeah.
And who better to pull them out? I mean, who better to get pulled out than Mark? That leads me to my next question. We see, and I know this is jumping around, this is the end. We see who Casey is to Mark. She's also Gemma, which is Mark's wife. Now, I've always assumed she was deceased. Has anybody ever said she died?
See, I've been thinking of it, and I feel like we've gotten phrases like, he lost his wife, or his wife went away, or
His wife is gone. But my thought is, what if she just left him? That doesn't, I mean, because she just left. And because he's an alcoholic, that could be another
because
reason why she left.
because it because to me it may be a situation where maybe like she was almost like in a coma and like it was like a DNR situation and like he thinks like she's dead because I also think about this too in the spirit of jumping around like the pregnant lady who Devin met like because she basically severed herself because she wanted to be pregnant without knowing she was pregnant. So going back to your theory about like basically taking bodies and implanting them with this chip to like give them a new consciousness, like I feel like there's something here. Like I don't quite know what it is yet, but I feel like there's something here with that.
I agree. 100%. Now, I just want, if you guys are watching, please let me know if you remember. Please let us know. Leave a comment if anybody has ever explicitly said that Gemma is dead. I'm just
Like the
curious.
word dead.
Yeah, the word
Yes.
deceased, no longer with us, not going away, not he lost his wife. I mean, like dead. Because Alexa may, I don't know. I don't know if anybody's ever said she died. I don't know. Maybe they have, but I don't remember it. Now that I'm thinking back. Now, the candle.
Yes.
The candle that Casey had, are we saying that's a different candle than the one that was at the house?
Same candle.
That's the same candle, right?
Same candle.
So again, for the people who on Reddit redditing, how did they know that it was that Casey was who that was Gemma? Because
Because
I just don't know how they had the foresight to think, oh, okay, this is who she is. Because my thought was Harmony brought that candle from his
uh
house because she stole it.
all right, so for those of you out there, like about a week or two ago, I sent D a message. I was like, D, do not get on Reddit. do not get on Reddit. Like, stay away. So, specifically, there was a post about the candle, and you brought it up, the fact that Harmony saw the candle, and she was like, which I kind of missed the first time. I thought she just grabbed the candle, but she looked at the candle and she was like, So she took the candle into the break room. The candle is like red and green. Miss Casey's dress is red and green, so she's associating smell with sight, with so looking back, was that a break room session for the both of them, or
Wellness, not break room. Wellness.
yeah, excuse me, wellness I meant. Yeah, because like
Feel like it
look back,
was.
look back at her dress is also the same color as the candle. So from that, people were like without and shout out to Reddit. Like, I'm not even mad I discovered this because the way it played out is still like wonderful. But
Mhm.
shout out to like people on Reddit because they said like, yeah, that's Mark's wife. And I was like, no way. But here we are.
Brilliant. Because I just never, I mean, I'm impressed because I never considered that she was alive.
I'm gonna tell you this. Like, part of me was like when he was putting that photo together, I was like, this is about to be hell.
I thought it was going to be Haley too. I did. I thought it would be, well, my husband was like, oh, is that going to be Alexa? And I'm like, well, that would really blow my mind because how the hell could it be Alexa? Like, how could that be it
Yeah.
unless he has brain damage or he's done that thing where
Mm,
people suppress memories,
mm,
Maybe because I knew that they were going to show us who it was because they made sure to have it out of focus.
mm.
And then when he was taping it back together, they made sure that he covered her face until the end. But when I saw Casey, I lost my shit. Like I was like, oh my God,
Yeah,
seriously
I was.
screaming like a crazy person.
And I
Yeah.
don't like it. Like I said, like I don't even feel like anything was spoiled for me because the way it played out, I'm just like, yep, never would have saw that coming. Because
I feel
when I read the theory, I was like, this is a cool theory, but at the same time, like if it plays out this way, it's gonna be cool because that's a huge jump. Like, who would have even made that connection? But apparently, it was here the whole time.
see the whole and that's the good part about it. It's not out of nowhere. There were breadcrumbs. We just,
Mhm.
I won't say we
Yeah.
even missed them. We just didn't fall into the right house. I don't know.
Mhm.
But it was brilliant in my opinion. Can we talk about Alexa a little bit? She's very odd to me. And I guess it's because she's just very calm. And that's not a negative trait, but it's odd. I don't know. Maybe it's because of her profession. She has to be very calm and soothing and kind of like, let's talk through
Mhm.
this. But the way she challenged Mark without challenging him was interesting.
Yeah.
Because it was
And
like,
to put it
stop
into
playing in my face.
context, Mark was really devastated by something that happened. He lied to her. I won't say rightfully so, but you kind of understand that, hey, I don't want to, basically trauma dump like this crazy thing that happened onto this person who I, only slept with once. But at the same time, like, I don't know if it's just me, like, just being like hyper, like whatever, but I'm kind of like dubious of anybody in this show who isn't like freaking Devin or Mark or like
Mhm.
the art the macrodata refinement department. So yeah, like part of me is like, I wonder about her. Also, they want you to get Alexa out your house so you can buy like the product placement. But no,
That's in there.
but no, seriously, yeah, like that was I, I don't know if it was intended to play out weird like that, but yeah, that was kind of weird interaction. Yeah.
She just, and again, this is me generalizing my people. I don't like people lying to me. I have a visceral reaction to being lied to. And the fact that he was lying to her while she was standing there, look like she's kind of looking at him like with so much confusion because she's like, dude, I've been awake for an hour.
Been
The
up for an
car was
hour.
gone. You weren't here. And he's like, I mean, yeah, I was here. what? And then she's all come. Well, should I leave? Yes, Alexa, you should
Yeah,
leave on your own accord.
you
Like
should have left. Like, yeah,
you should have left
minute 31. You should have left. Yeah.
minute 5. I give you 31 because something could have been. He could have been going to get a midnight snack, coffee, condoms. You don't know. Like he could have
Yeah,
been doing something. You know, like
little amuse bouche for the next morning.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some entremont. Who knows? You know, some
So some
accoutrement.
accoutrements.
So maybe you give him benefit of the doubt. If he comes home with eggs and croissants, you're like, okay, cool. This was for breakfast tomorrow, coffee. But when he comes back and he's naked on top of that, where have you been and where are your clothes?
He was in the kitchen butt ass naked. Like,
you don't have any clothes on, and you're trying to convince me that you didn't leave. Her mind should have immediately went, oh my God, he murdered somebody. That's how I think. I mean, I'm just being honest. I'd have been like, okay, he murdered somebody. Like he hit somebody with his car on the way. He picked up the body. There was blood on his clothes, so he took his clothes off. I'm going to leave before he realizes I figured it out. But she's just like, should I go? Yeah, Alexa.
maybe she thought he was in like that fuck Lumon mosh pit or something. I don't know.
she could have gone too. I mean, we had to wake up though. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know, but
yeah,
maybe she's okay. Maybe she is a decent and nice person because she's very calm, and that kind of personality is soothing. People, we need those type of people in the world. But the fact that she wasn't like vigilant at all was concerning.
Yeah.
It's just a little concerning. Like she wasn't afraid of him at all. And it's just odd. Maybe because she knows his sister, you think? Maybe? I don't know. That's too much for me.
I don't know.
Now, Harmony and Devin. We were talking about her being excited about integration. And she was asking Devin a lot of questions about if Mark ever talked about his wife.
Yeah, and even Devin is like, what the fuck does it have to do with anything?
He left. You can go now. Like I got this down. We good. You've done your job. But she was answering the questions, but Devin had the type of temperament that I would expect. You see what I'm saying? Like Alexa did not, but Devin was kind of curious. So even though she answered the questions about Mark, you can tell she was thinking like keep asking me about my brother.
Especially the question about like has he ever seen his wife? Like who? Like, I know she tried to set it up. She tried to frame it with like an anecdote, but still, like that's a weird ass question to ask somebody.
You know what I'm saying? It's just really odd. So now I'm gonna have to go back. See, I hate. I've already rewatched these episodes once, and I'm gonna have to do it again to see if they've officially said she died. And they may have. It feels like they did say that she was dead, but I want to make sure because I'm not sure at all. Okay. We've got leverage, right? A little bit of leverage because when Devin bit Milchick, I mean not Devin, Dylan. When he bit Milchick, he was upset, very angry, and Dylan was like, "What you gonna do about it? Like we can go talk to Harmony together.
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, do you want to talk? I will lead the way.
We can go right now. I know. Is she here? That was the other thing. She wasn't there, so it's almost like Lumon is falling apart exactly when it should be, which also makes me kind of like, You get the key card right when you're supposed to. Harmony's not in the building right when y'all decide to leave and break into the security room to get the codes or the instructions on how to turn the switches off. And when Irving goes to see Burt, Milchick's just like, "Oh, we've got to get those doors checked." Like you stood there and checked the elevator for a good 5 minutes. So I know the doors work. So the fact that he wasn't more alarmed about the fact that Irving was out of there was confusing too. Everything is just there are small things that are kind of like this ain't making sense.
No. In classic Milchick, like I think I think he knew, and I think Burt knew that he knew. That's why, like, when Irving started to go off, like Burt was like, hey, chill, because you could like this could be a two-person retirement party, so you need to chill too. So that's I feel like they kind of picked up on that, um, but yeah, it's funny that we don't go back to, at least I don't think so. We go back to Millicek in this episode, and him like trying to hunt down like how they, you
They
know,
got out because there's only
yeah.
one way they could have gotten out is if they had a badge, right? And
Hmm.
Grainer's not there
But it's gonna click now, obviously. Yeah.
for sure, especially since he's dead. I want to say this. The first, whenever I see Patricia Arquette, I immediately think of Stigmata. Just want to put that out there. That's like the
No, no, no.
first thing.
Why'd you say that? Why'd you say that?
I'm sorry. It's the first thing I think of every time.
Like, if you don't know me,
she's who I am.
in my opinion, there is no movies, well, Hereditary, but there is no movie scarier than Stigmata. Like them, like the very mention of that word scares the living daylights out of me. So let's
Mm,
not. And I'm
sorry.
and like I'm not saying like I'm tough or anything, but like I hate scary movies because I think nothing is scary to me. But like that movie like still creeps me out to this day. Like I was in the sixth grade that came out. But yeah, anyway.
It's a very creepy movie. But with that said, when she was looking at the girl who always passes, the secretary who passes the messages for the board, she was terrified.
Mm,
Because the girl is taller than her, and Patricia was just kind of Harmony was just staring at her,
mhm.
just like, what, and it's another case of having leverage because she used her leverage of knowing that PD had integrated to tell the board, no, we're gonna meet up in person. This is what we're going to do.
Also, stupid me. Why didn't I realize that was the same person on the news advocating for severed individuals? Remember they had that news clip? Yeah, that's her.
I
Because
didn't
they
notice
had
that either.
they kind of had it set up almost like a CNN debate type thing, that she was
Mm,
like debating Severance, and yeah, that was her.
that makes sense though, because she's like a
Yeah,
mouthpiece, I guess, for the board.
yeah.
What do you think Harmony's gonna do? Like, is she going to just go to them and say, I know he was integrated. This is the proof, and she's gonna give them the chip? And if so, why does she trust them so much to not like do anything to her?
Like surely she wants to know like why they are lying to her, because I think she knows now. But at the same time, like I don't even think she knows who the board is. So can you truly
No.
trust that you could walk into this situation, give them the evidence they want, and just walk out? Like, nah.
Here's where my problem lies with Alexa. Everybody has a problem with being I guess trying to kind of like taken advantage of, or somebody trying to play the fool. But she was just kind of like, hmm,
Mm,
it's okay. Do you want me to go? Like, again, Devin had the reaction I thought she would have. Dylan had the reaction I thought he would have. Irving had the reaction I thought he would have. And Harmony for sure. Like, she went off,
mm,
and reasonably so. Speaking of, let's go back to the oh, Harmony told them that the same person who integrated PD is
mm.
probably the person that killed Grainer. And I was like, damn, that's perceptive.
Yeah.
I mean, because she knows this with Gabi, right? She
Uh,
knows. She
right.
knows this with Gabi, right? Like she knows. So why haven't they gone to get her? Because if Grainer knew where she was, they could have done something to get her. I guess they thought Grainer would be enough.
But surely like Grainer's in the win. I mean, not Grainer, Regabi's in the win now. Surely,
Well,
right?
now, yeah, she can't just.
Yeah.
But it seemed like she had something set up there, but that may have just been she may just have like a travel office, right? She
Mhm.
like just has a machine that she can pack up, kind of like Ant-Man, just kind of shrink it down and take it with them. She might just have that, and whatever tools she needs, she could just very quickly grab them and move on with her business. Because I mean, it's not like she could just do brain surgery anywhere. She'll have to have a clinic or something set up somewhere if she's going to take the chips out, or not even take them out, bypass them, because that's what she did to Petey. And I'm thinking maybe she can't take it out, because why bypass it? Or she bypassed it so Petey could keep going back and forth. What you think?
Yeah, because
Now that we know,
Uh-huh.
that they can be wherever, because Dylan proved that. So you can be your outie, your any can be wherever. It's not like your any has to be at Lumen. They can switch it wherever. So maybe they bypass the chip and PD, the Audi PD was also at work.
Yeah.
Okay. If
Yeah,
that's the
yeah, yeah.
case,
That tracks for me. Yeah.
okay. So if that's the case, then that's why she didn't take it out because she was using PD to infiltrate,
Mhm.
which leads us to Helly. There are some
Yes.
interesting theories about her.
Oh, there are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Most interesting one I've seen is, of course, that she indeed is severed only to infiltrate. And that's why, or that's one theory. The second one is that they are actually using the new technology and that she's somebody else, which is why her outie told
Oh,
her, which is why her outie told her, I am a real person, you are not.
okay.
Who knows? I don't know. It seems dangerous though,
Yeah, it does.
but it would be very hurtful if one of the people that we
Mm,
trust turns out to be
mm,
the bad one, which could very well be the case.
mm. But yeah, I want to bring your attention to something.
Okay.
When they went into the room, they were searching for, the overtime protocol, right? Is what it's called.
Hmm.
So, um, this is gonna be long-winded, so work with me here. D- are you have you paid attention to the opening credits?
Kind of
So
with
like
the
the cubes is like each cubicle is like bursting. So here's the thing. Like I mean I say this all the time, but like it's been like scientifically proven. Basically, the human mind and a circuit board of a computer essentially have the same functions. All right.
okay.
Yeah. So basically, what you're seeing, like the synapses popping in the opening credits, resembles very much that of a circuit board. If you look through the book that they were flipping through, you see something called the elephant access circuit, which is,
Hmm.
when we think about elephants, we think about memory.
Hmm.
Before we got there, like this is like weeks back. The name Kier Egan is like very interesting. So I googled the name Kier and I googled the name Egan. Kier means fire. Egan means the dark one.
Mm.
So shout out to our friends on Reddit. So they brought up the elephant access circuit from a story called The Elephant Circuit, where basically um it's about um a man whose family dies and he goes into the afterlife. And it's called
Hmm.
the Elephant Circuit. And in that binder, you see the Elephant Access Circuit.
Hmm.
So yeah. So yeah, and the
I
purpose
hadn't
of this.
even
So
mm.
so 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 where so
Casey.
where so where we're high so what people are hypothesizing now is basically kind of what you're saying. This show, um, not even the show, but the chip within the show is to grant access to digital immortality, like to
Hmm.
transfer, like to put consciousness onto this chip and to transfer that chip and implant it into someone's mind. So therefore, you live on. Kind of how you mentioned earlier, like different bodies. Like so, yeah.
So it could be Casey if she's dead. Because again, I don't know if they've said she's dead, but it very well could. I mean, that makes sense. If it's immortality and Casey's dead, then it fits perfectly because
Mhm,
she might be one of the elephant access circuit people, especially like you said, because she's very robotic, devoid
mhm.
of emotion most of the time.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. That's very interesting.
But
I
yeah,
like it.
the fact that Kier Egan, like, because like whenever there's a character name, I always
Was
Google
he
it because I'm
Satan?
like, I mean, Fire and the Dark One. And every time we see him, there's a cauldron of fire. Like these very like early 1920s like industrial paintings where he like is just around like a cauldron of fire, almost like melting steel or something. Like think about it.
What's the painting that they were talking about with his true love? Wasn't that
Yeah,
fire in
yeah,
that one too?
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, 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 yeah. You're right. So he's Lucifer. Interesting. We've been talking about he was God this whole time.
But no, like and I think we were
He's
on
son of the morning.
and I think and I think we were onto something then because like the I don't because we kept asking ourselves like the basically like you better praise Kier and all of that, like all of this religious stuff, like are they just landing on thick just because, or is it actually meaning something? And here's the thing. I'm gonna say this too. Um, I have this is like me just going off like a gut feeling. Um, Kier Egan is chairman of the board.
First episode was called Welcome to Hell, and Helly told him, I would tell you to go to hell, but you're already here. This is
Kier Egan is chairman of the board, which is why we never see the board.
so yeah, okay. So is he just like a brain, kind of like on the underworld when he only just comes back every so many years? He's just like RoboCop.
Maybe Kier Egan still lives on because of these experiments that have gone on in Lumen. Like this is because like follow the chip again. Like maybe like the body of Kier Egan is no longer, but maybe that consciousness has been transferred to like another body. But I feel like Kier Egan is very much still running the company. And like I said,
Well, he doesn't
I
have a
have
body.
I have no
He's a
factual
ghost in a
basis.
machine.
Yeah, I just feel
Mhm.
like this is a strong hunch. Like I just feel like that's the case.
I, it makes sense to me. I don't see a problem with it, especially since he's been, it's been like Kier the whole time or whatever family
Mhm.
type thing. Burt. Okay. So this is
Yeah.
the funny thing about the show. When Burt gave his speech, I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, this speech is trash. Like, this is the worst speech
It was
ever.
hilarious to me. He was like, "Yeah, I
It
don't
was
know
hilarious. I
how
mean,
many of you there are. Physical
I'm sure I love
characteristics."
you. I mean, I've seen you every day, even though I don't remember anything about you. I'm sure you'll live in some forgotten corner of my mind somewhere. Who knows? But here we go. And I wrote when when Irving had his outburst, and he
Mhm.
was very passionate about, you're not severed, so you don't know what it's like. Because to Irving, Burt is dying because this
Mhm.
version of Burt no longer exists. So he's dying. And everybody's excited about his retirement because you do see that there is another Burt. Like there's an Audi. It was taped at some point, right? Who knows? At some point of his life, it was taped. Because I was under the impression that Burt was always there. I didn't think he went home. I thought he was one of the people that stayed there all the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I guess he does go home, maybe, or they just woke him up for that day to tell him, "Oh, you're done." Um, but before I even saw Irving's reaction, I said, I typed up in my notes, "We about to burn this bitch down," because he was angry. Like you could tell he was angry. And as soon as he went back to the office, that's what he said: "We about to burn this. Let's burn it to the ground." I'm like, yes, anarchy. I don't know what it means, but I love it. Um, and it's crazy because Haley was kind of like, "Are you okay?" Like, of course he's not okay. You
Of
can look at
course
him and
not.
tell him he's not okay. No, he's not okay. But they have a serious camaraderie right now, which is why I'm thinking maybe this is going to be the heartbreak of it all. Because, like, for real, like I'm saying, maybe Haley's not who we think she is. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe she is. I don't know. I want her to be good. I do. But maybe she's not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know which way to go. Like, I mean, with like most people on this show, like I don't know which way to go with them,
Mm-mm.
but yeah, that
Mm.
that would be
This is the other thing. Alexa, Again, maybe she's just a therapist deep down and she knows Mark is dealing with some issues. But when he ripped his wife's picture up, I thought this is not going to make this is worse. Like he's
No,
just like,
this is that's
you want to talk about
no,
her? How about this? And he ripped. I'm like, this is so much
that doesn't make
worse.
it better. No.
This is so much worse. And I was happy that that was the straw because she was just like, oh, nah, this nigga crazy. Like for real, she's just, this man has lost his mind. And she left, which is good. But do you think she's coming back or is she done?
I mean, is she
She might come
or
back.
does she need to be?
She needs to be. Is she
Yeah.
going to be though? That's the question. Because again, she's very calm and understanding.
Also, I made an observation about the picture, and tell me if I'm wrong. Because as the cover your ears, mom, if you're listening, but as the son of a divorced couple, what do couples typically do when both of them are in the picture and they want to hold on to the picture, but don't want to keep the
Also, a child of a divorced couple before we could just crop folks out. They cut them out the picture.
So when Mark picks up that picture of Gemma, why is it ripped in half? Like it's just Gemma's side.
Well, I don't know.
And maybe I'm wrong, but it looks like I can see the tears on like the side that isn't him. I don't know.
Maybe she left him long before she left him. And maybe she left him and like moved on with her life. And then, because it feels recent, but is
Yeah.
it? Was it
Yeah,
recent?
like we don't. I
We don't
mean,
know how long she's
we
been.
know we know he joined Lumen 2 years ago, but we don't know like the events preceding that.
Exactly. Like, we don't know how long that, because grief doesn't go away for a bunch of people. But the first episode, he was in his car bawling, like it was
Mm,
fresh.
mhm.
And I'm not saying that it should be better after 2 years because I don't know what that's like. Thank God, I have no idea what that's like, and I'm sure there are days where it's fresh. But it felt, from his reaction, it felt very new.
Mm,
And for it to be 2 years removed, this is kind of like he hasn't made any steps to move on at all. And it's probably just because he's only dealing with it half the time, right?
exactly.
But we don't know again how long she's been out of his life before the 2 years that he's been in Lumen. He could have,
Mm,
she could have been whatever happened to her or whatever happened to them however long before. We don't know. And then he's just
mhm.
like, I'm not getting any better, so let me just join Lumen and get severed. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know. So that was Defiant Jazz,
yeah.
episode 7.
We got two more to go.
Cool to go. It's cool. It's like I want the story. I want to know where we're going with the story. Don't want it to end at the same time. But I do like completion. So I'm hoping that this season, that this arc does something well that gives us some answers, and then whatever we do going forward just, builds upon it.
I'm gonna tell you though, you writers have a hard time topping this because
Yeah, you do.
yeah, I mean, but that's why you get paid the millions of dollars. That's why you work
Millions.
for
The
one of the
big
largest
bucks.
corporations in the world because I don't know
The
where to go
big
after
bucks.
this. Yeah.
Well, we still got to figure out. We still need to figure out Casey. We still haven't seen
Mm,
Haley's outside life, and we got to see the board. So maybe
yeah.
we'll see that next episode, or maybe we won't. And hopefully there'll be another MDE somewhere, so I can see Milchick dance again, because that was amazing. I mean, he was really, he was really excited about it. Like really. Oh, my biggest question for you: how is Dylan going to function now? He's having a
Uh,
really hard time, and reasonably so.
it's funny because I want to go back to the infographic that he grabbed. It looks like a physical act, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, that's now in his mind. So he is going to he is going to now recreate everything he's been seeing. Like that's the only way he can function. Like he's gonna be on Milicich's ass like the whole time.
Hope so. I hope so. I mean, he deserves it. He deserves to have somebody constantly on his ass. What are they going to do about security? Just hire somebody else? Oh, I got another
Um,
question.
they're about to. I mean, surely like there's about to be like an outside investigation as to like what happened with this. But in the meantime, maybe Mr. Milicic gets a promotion.
Last question.
Uh
Who helped him um activate the overtime protocol? Because they made it very clear it has to be two people.
has to
So
be two
Milchick
people.
wasn't one of them. So that means there were three people involved in the overtime protocol, and Harmony wasn't one of them.
You're asking the right questions. I thought that too the moment I heard it. I was like, because here's so think about it, think about it, think about it. We saw Milicic in Dilla's closet, and then he talks to somebody. He's he like I'm paraphrasing. He says, "Flip the switch," and then we see the switch flip back in Lumen. Who was that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who were they? It's got to be two people, right?
Yeah.
So it was a three-person job this time because Milchick was there at Dilla's
Right.
house. So he has to have had at least two more people help him. Assuming Grainer's one of them. Who's
Yeah,
the other
let's
one?
assume Grainer is one, but there still has to be someone else.
Because unless it was Casey.
Nah.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm only thinking her because these are the only people we've seen. We've seen, as far as M&D, we've seen Casey, Milchick, Harmony, and Grainer.
It
And
was
then
it
the
was it was
and
two
then the
goats.
4 employees.
It was
Two
two
ghosts.
baby goats. Two baby goats.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the goat man. I wonder how he's doing. Him and his goats.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Y'all gotta answer that question. Nah,
Yeah,
y'all got
that's
to.
gotta come back around. I mean, maybe they're all
Yeah.
livestock, like Kelly said.
Yeah.
So she said, "My livestock," and it seems like such a preposterous question, though. Even Mark said that you think we grew you and put you on clothes and did your nails just so you could be livestock. Like it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't. But I mean, who knows? Maybe they did.
Who knows? Yeah.
Maybe they did. Well, yeah, that's all I have for now, I guess. Although it
Yeah.
was so much,
Yeah. So much.
so much. It was good though.
It was.
I don't feel
Yeah.
like I don't feel like a minute was wasted. Not one.
Not at all. Not at all.
And it's exceptional for TV these days.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say, um, I'm glad we've returned back to the weekly model because
Mm.
thank you for the binge model. You know, you serve you did us well. You served your time. But I'm glad we're back to that. Let's give you something to think about for 7 days model because the binging model and how people started to write to that model where nothing happens in the first 30 minutes and then everything happens in the last 15. I'm glad we're back. I'm glad we're back to this. So yeah, shout out to everyone working on this show.
And it gives us time to like you said, to study it a little bit, to come up with
Mm,
theories, because that makes it fun. You're like, oh my God, I was so wrong. Or
mm,
yes, I was right. I got it right. Because again,
mm.
all of you smart people that figured out Casey, bravo.
Yeah,
Bravo.
because
That's amazing. You
yeah,
deserve some credit. Bravo.
yeah.
Because I did not see it at all. And I picked up the candle, but I did not
Mhm.
see that coming at all. At all. You think Regatta's coming back next episode, or you think it's gonna be at the end?
She'll come back eventually, but I don't know, maybe like maybe the last episode.
You gotta come back and talk to Mark, right? Or he's gonna freak out.
Mm. Yeah,
I
she's
would say
definitely
sooner
gonna
than
be
later.
back. Yeah, she's definitely gonna be back.
Do you think Milchick's gonna notice that he's gonna find that card?
Yeah.
You think he's gonna know? I mean, but I was gonna say, what are they gonna do, strip search him? But well, maybe. Probably.
I mean,
Probably so. You know. They could.
yeah.
Let's see. So what happens to Burt now? He's just gone?
He is gone to the big corporation in the sky.
He rests well. Oh, I keep thinking of stuff. I'm sorry. It looked like, or am I tripping? Did Casey have on like a gardener hat in that picture?
Mhm,
Like a big,
mhm, mhm.
is that a coincidence? Or
I don't think anything in the show is a coincidence.
because there's a whole thing with the tree, and then there's the greenhouse, and then there's the like
Mhm.
garden at Lumen.
Yeah, even like just to toss that on the screen, like the vibe of Lumen, like this very green and sage type color.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I feel like that's a creative choice.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Hopefully, we'll have all these answers and more on the next
These
episode
answers and more.
of Severance.
But yeah, as usual, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. We're kind of doing double duty right now. Atlanta is back, so if you haven't watched our Atlanta recap, please watch that and let us know what you think. We'll try to get those out. You know, I guess yeah, we'll try to do like Atlanta Severance. So yeah, we'll try to, keep that going. But yeah, let us know what you think about this episode. Let us know what you think about the show as a whole. And yeah, D, any final thoughts?
No, except thank you for watching. Like seriously, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for giving us comments. Thank you for adding to the podcast because all of your comments actually do help us with the content because some of the stuff we didn't think about, some of the stuff we missed, and it's very appreciated for y'all to watch and listen to us and say whatever it is you need to say. So thank you very much.
Yeah. So yeah, until next time.
Peace.
Peace.